Adesanya.
Really?
Come on, bro. I'm Nigerian.
Oh yes. You know, you're right. No, I forgot that. But I will say that remember these two have had some. They also fought Muay Thai wise outside of the UFC, outside of mixed martial arts. So someone even mentioned to me that Pereira will be in Adesanya's head. So
Yeah, he probably will, but I feel like they fought that many times. They know enough about each other's game. This will probably be the last time they ever fight. I felt like the last fights are probably a good indicator. It's probably the best indicator because the only time you've ever fought MMA
mm,
and the most recent time. And I felt like he was doing well. He just got finished.
mm,
I feel like if he
yeah.
comes out and he's a little bit more reserved and he can kind of make the fight a bit more boring and try and force it to go 5 rounds, I think he can do the same again, but without getting finished
Yeah.
and maybe win a decision. But you never know, lad. Pereira could just come out and just chin him again because he is a fucking unit, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's a light heavyweight.
Do you know what? I said I thought Pereira might knock him out in the first fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. But he's quite possibly the most technical guy on the feet, so maybe it's their time lucky for him. But you know what? That's a fight I wouldn't bet on.
You serious?
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that at the minute. I'm literally split 50-50.
Hmm.
50-50.
Because if for me, I mean, I'm not a fighter. I've never been in an octagon in front in front of a crowd of people and cameras, hoping aiming and fighting to win. So I don't know what that feels like. But I would have thought that, and someone said this to me, that because this guy's beaten him for the third time for Adesanya, Pereira will be forever in his head until he fights him again and wins the fight. So I was assuming that Adesanya is going to work and train and do whatever it takes like mad until he beats this guy.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised though if Pereira beats him and then moves up to light heavyweight and beats Jamal Hill. That guy's a ridiculous beast. So don't be
Yeah.
surprised if he's a two-weight champ.
Ooh. If Izzy would wrestle, dude, I don't, again, bro, I'm probably like, I don't really bet too much on fights unless it's like a friendly bet. I don't really have too many picks. But if Izzy goes out there and stands with him, he's gonna get knocked out again. He's got Izzy's number striking wise. I like, yeah, he rocked him with that left hook, but like, dude, you're like 0-2 in kickboxing, lost an MMA fight to him to strikes. But dude, if Izzy goes out there and wrestles, like his wrestling and like grappling didn't look that good. I hope he doesn't see this and whip my ass one day, but like I'm just saying, like, dude, he like, no offense, man, but I don't know. I feel like Izzy could have a much better ground game than him if he would be offensive with his wrestling and take him down.
I'm really gonna, to be honest, I think and I always said this: too many rematches, it doesn't play out the same way. I think this time Adesanya will win that fight. I think like the other, Pereira won the first three. You're eventually gonna lose at a high level. Two high level fighters, eventually, 1 out of 10, you're gonna lose 1 out of 10. They already fought three times. They're gonna fight for the fourth time. Adesanya is, to me, the smarter, slick fighter, clever. I think Pereira is just tough, smart but tough. Wills things out, big good technique too. But I think Adesanya, I go with the clever guy, and I think Adesanya will be able to finally get his get back.
I think I want Izzy to win because he's like a character and he's more charismatic and he's super charismatic. He's a superstar. But I don't see how you lose somebody 3 times now and then come back and beat him right. So Izzy got knocked out, so that means he probably took a month or so off, right? Maybe a couple weeks off, right? And then now the turnaround. I think the turnaround was too quick. I think the turnaround was too quick for Izzy to get the win. So I think Alex will win, but I'd like to see Izzy win. And I want to see. I'd like to see Izzy take him down and beat him up on the ground.
It's tricky, man. Like sometimes you find somebody who's got your number. They kind of figured you out. And this is not the first time that they've fought.
No,
There's
it's
a
not.
history. So even before the UFC, there was a history there. Sometimes a fighter gets in your head, which is difficult because it becomes more of like a quicksand. You know, like even if they might not necessarily be better than you, they might have one or two techniques that can put you away, and that's all they need. You know, like but at the end of the day, it's a tough thing. I think that Izzy's been a follower of the page for a long time. He's been supportive of the page for a long time. I've met him at the MMA awards in Vegas a couple times. He's very, very cool individual. I liked the way he handled his loss. I think that was very professional. He didn't bitch. He didn't moan. He didn't make an excuse. He just said, I lost. And then he moved on with the fucking day, which he's done twice now that I've seen in the UFC. Like when he tried to move up weight classes and he got handled. He got to the press conference like it was just another day. Like he didn't cry. He wasn't like emotionally broken. He's a very mentally tough dude. It will all be based on if he learned from his previous losses. That's the only thing that's going to dictate whether or not he's going to win. If he did not learn anything from his previous losses and his previous matches with him, he will lose again. So if he's able to learn from that and he's able to change his game plan, change some strategy, change some tactics, then he can win. He has the ability to win. As of right now, if I had to put money on it, I'm going to put money on Pereira. Like that's where my money would go. He's got a track record of beating Adesanya. So far, he's doing a fucking great job about being able to beat him. Like, even if he could fight a million other fighters and lose a million other fights, sometimes you just got somebody's number, and it seems like he might have him pegged a little bit. He might have figured out his game and how his timing is and all that good stuff. But if I had to put money down right now, I'd be on Pereira. But I'd have to see a little bit more footage of his training camp, what's going on, how he's adapted, what he, you know, if you're Izzy, to be honest, like what you probably should do, go to the fucking ground. Like, I know that doesn't sound like a game plan that a lot of people would expect, but that's exactly why you do it. Like, train your fucking takedowns over and over and over and over and over again, right? Train those takedowns as hardcore as humanly possible. Get that jiu-jitsu up. And of course, Izzy's known as probably one of the best strikers there in the UFC. But if you're getting beat striking by someone else, stop striking. You know, like if that person is consistently beating you in your game, do another game. You know, like do the game that you will most likely get you a win. And it might not even be an exciting way of winning. I mean, if you're able to secure a takedown, keep top dominant position for the majority of the round, and then stay away from the other person, that's boring as shit. Yeah, but it wins fights. I mean, GSP used to do the same thing over and over and over again. He would double leg takedown, and he would just pretty much chill and guard for a really long time. I mean, DC had the same kind of thing where he would just secure a takedown and he would just like grind on people from the guard, not even attempt to pass. Doesn't need to. Like he's so good at being active in the guard that he was able to just beat the shit out of people while in their guard, which is extremely impressive. To tire someone while they're on their back, basically just defending, and still make them exhausted is really impressive. You know, so you don't have to be like a Khabib with your takedowns where you secure a takedown, you get to like a figure four on the person's thighs and instead of mounting and then beat the shit out of them against the cage. You don't have to do that. You could just get the takedown, get a dominant position, ride that timeout, do it again. Get the takedown, dominant position, ride that out until you get the victory. Like to the fighters, that's boring. Or to the crowd, that's boring. Do you think he gives a fuck if you were entertained or not? He's still going to get paid. He's still going to get the title. Like he could walk out of there and everyone could boo, and he would still be like, "Meh,
you're still on.
I'll cry on this belt."
I think he's 3-0 his Pereira against him, so I do think it's hard at this point to say Izzy, but I do think skill-wise, Izzy is the better striker. Izzy is the all-round better fighter. But for people to respect the win, he has to outstrike him. Like I think he could very easily go in there and just wrestle him. But if he did that, people would be like, "You've not beaten him," like, because they're both kickboxers by trade. I think Izzy needs to go in there and outstrike him. But I do think Izzy, technicality-wise, is the better striker. It's just Pereira's got that equalizer, and he can take a lot of punishment. Like in the last fight, I think, what was it, the last 10, 15 seconds or something daft that Pereira stopped it. And I just think if Izzy could have held out a bit longer, he'd have won that fight.
Yeah.
But I do think it's hard to bet against him when he's already 3-0 against the guy.
No, I hear what you say. I mean, people. I've asked quite a few people about this, and some of the comments and answers that I remember is that you can be very good at what you do, but once your competitor, let's say, has your number, especially when they've defeated you several times or so, more than once, more than twice, it's kind of like they're gonna stay in your head. There's something about you that you have over me, and I just can't get. I don't know what it is, but I just can't get over. I can't get past that. You know, it's that
Yeah,
sort
like
of thing.
there's something you've got that I can't beat, and I think that's going to be. He's been stopped twice by him, and that's as confident as he is, and I do think he'll be confident and think he's going to beat him. That's got to be in his head somewhere that this guy has not just beaten me 3 times, but 2 times stopped me. So I think that's got to be in the back of his head a bit.
I hope he doesn't retire.
No, I'd like the way I can see it going is Pereira winning and then moving up to light heavyweight. So that does mean Izzy has a chance to become the best middleweight again. But I think something fights is hard to call. Because I think Izzy is very capable of winning the fight, but based on history, it's hard to bet against that.
I think it's hard to say anything other than Pereira, isn't it? Because he's won so many times against Adesanya. I can't say I'm kind of the biggest fan as Adesanya. I think he's an incredible fighter, but there's something about his personality which grates on me. But I would actually love to see Adesanya win that fight. I'd love to see someone who's been knocked down so many times by the same person. I've got a little bit of a soft spot for an underdog. So, do I think Adesanya's going to win? No, I think Pereira will probably win. But I'd love to see Adesanya win. Like I said, as a fighter, he's an incredible fighter.